while yes, great attacker, it's not going to be something like a Dusk Noir. So it's really going to be up to Jackson to navigate around Team Rocket's Articuno because those damage counters are not going to be flying like he's used to.
See, of course, players drawing their opening hands. A mulligan on Jackson's side means he'll have to shuffle up, draw a new hand of 7 cards, and Nathan will be rewarded as an additional card drawn after the setup. Is it really just beat, stick, and spread, or is there a little bit more intricacy that can happen between both of these players?
Well, it really kind of depends on the opening hands realistically, and it's sad to say, right? But sometimes this Team Rocket's deck, no matter which version you're playing, whether it is Honchkrow or whether it is Mewtwo and Spidops, if you don't see that opening Proton, and trust me, Ethan, it does happen, it will feel really bad. But here's the prizes. That's a lot of supporters going in.
That Meowth, 1 copy for Jackson in the prize cards. It's a great way to get yourself out of a tough scenario if you don't have a Lily opening in your hand. As you mentioned, those Team Rocket Giovanni needs to have as a gusting card, essentially. You see one of those Team Rocket's energy at the top, another valuable resource you've always got to keep track of. This deck essentially attacks for a single attachment. Looks like there was a slight issue. This does happen sometimes on the stream where a mulligan card was taken before putting the prize cards out. It can be a little bit difficult with the prizes being on the right side if you are the player to the right we see in Nathan's side. We'll have to see how this gets resolved, and just kind of one of the unfortunate things that can happen in the Pokemon TCG.
As I always like to say, Ethan, players of any skill level can make mistakes. Jackson and Nathan both have been playing this game for a very long time, and there are still mistakes to be made. And unfortunately, it does take just a little bit of extra time to get into the game from here. But I really am so excited to see if Team Rocket's Honchkrow paired with the Porygon 2 is able to really kind of sift through, and it's thanks to those Articunos that really do essentially veil or shield all of the basic Pokemon on that bench here. But it's also about the thing with Team Rocket is that Jackson is going to have to target down a lot of these energy attachments.
We saw how powerful using gusting cards can be on that Team Rocket's Articuno if it does come down in the matchup. Does have a 1 retreat cost, the only way to switch out of the active being that Team Rocket's Giovanni supporter card, acting as a supporter similar to Guzma for those who've been playing during this era that we bring back and forth. On Jackson's side, there are a couple interesting inclusions that will definitely matter. The hand disruption cards, the special red card that's in the deck, the copy of Judge. Importantly though, opting to play a card he's very familiar and successful with, this Secret Box A-Spec instead of Unfair Stamp in Dragapult.
Jackson known to love a good setup. We saw from his regional win not too long. I mean, actually, it was kind of a long time ago at this point, beginning of this season. But one thing I do want to point out about Jackson's list, Ethan, is that Dragapult is playing a copy, 1 copy of Lily's Clefairy EX. That's not even the crazy part here. The crazy part is that there's a Lily's Pearl as well to go alongside trying to find a counter to some of these mirror matches that he is anticipated to tech. Let's see those A-Specs again. I mean, all the supporters are there, but the A-Spec is gone.
At the top of the prizes at that, never where you want to see that Miracle headset. Buffed up versus Seeker to bring supporters back from the discard pile. Looks like everything was resolved, and Nathan will just receive a warning, so we'll have a 6 prize versus 6 prize showdown between both players, just how we like to see it in this last round of Swiss for phase number 1.
Still, though, I mean, prizing that Miracle headset is going to be a big part of this late game. So heading into game now, it is going to be round 8, Ethan, last round of phase 1 here. Now, both players are guaranteed a spot in, but you know nobody wants to take a loss right now heading into phase 2.
Nathan does open that Team Rocket's Articuno combined with that Team Rocket's Transceiver. Will guarantee that those Pokemon are played. This supporter card, Team Rocket's Proton, ignores the effects of normal supporter cards as you can play it on your first turn going first.
I know in our last match we had a Carmine supporter, which you could also play on your first turn, but Proton works pretty well here too. And like we had talked about in our pre-match conversation, if you don't start this Proton, it is a big, big worry because you want to save all of your Pokepads for fighting your Honchkrows and your Porygons for the late game. But notice this, Ethan, this is a really big bench here from Nathan, not only having the Articuno in the active, but choosing to grab another one as well, realizing how important protecting the bench from all of these damage counters truly is.
Immediately throwing that Team Rocket's Factory in play to draw 2 cards. Does find that Team Rocket's Energy, the special energy card, does provide 2 Dark Energy or Psychic Energy to any Pokemon that's Team Rocket attached, allowing this Honchkrow to attack in 1 turn. Definitely be notable for later on, and considering even playing this Ignition Energy to our Articuno to retreat, put Murkrow up into the active spot, and get ready to start attacking on the following turn.
Wow, that is a very risky attached to retreat angle that Nathan is going for here. There's no basic energy in this deck for Nathan, so it is really just about finding all of these special energies. But the thing is, Ethan, there are no recovery cards for special energy, especially for Team Rockets here. So Nathan, no fear at all, just going to use the Ignition Energy to get into the active. On over to Jackson's turn, and this is what he wants to see first, right? I mean, you can't go wrong with Buddy Buddy Poffin.
Excellent card for any of the set-up decks. 70 HP or less can grab those Pokemon out of the deck. Immediately Badoo, one of those 2 cards chosen to be benched. It is, of course, an energy lost for Nathan, but you're going to have to pivot at some point, and really on these early turns for Jackson, wanting to play that Lily's Determination instead of Boss's Orders can go a long way when it comes to the setup. And let's not forget, Murkrow's Torment attack does have the capabilities to knock out a Badoo without having to discard any of those Team Rocket supporter cards.
Well, this is what you want to see if you are Jackson. Not only do you get your opening Buddy Buddy Poffin, but you don't have to work too hard for your energy as well. We're going to take a look also the fact that Jackson is playing this Blaziken EX as well, so a little bit more of a loose time with the energy and being able to just safely discard it because you know the Blaziken EX and that Seething Spirit's going to be able to get it back into the active. But still a very teched out list for Dragapult, Ethan. I mean, what do you think Jackson's thoughts were? Was it just let's just tech for everything?
Well, I know Jackson values consistency in this deck. Knowing what most Dragapult EX variants are playing, a lot of them with Crushing Hammer means Blaziken is a great way to offset that energy denial that Crushing Hammer can so very often find a way to do when your opponent gets lucky, gets on a hot streak, flips a couple of heads. It can be very, very difficult to come back from that. We'll see Jackson draw these 8 cards already with the attachment for turn, and there's that secret box. When Jackson decides to use that will be a big telling moment in this matchup, opting to hold on to it for now, content with just the 2 Dreepy in play, and throwing action back to Nathan where he is sitting on the Team Rocket's energy already, plus a couple of Team Rocket's supporter cards. How he decides to go about this turn will be crucial later on in the game. It will be that Petrol. We see the supporter card in many different decks outside of Team Rockets, but works very well here to grab yourself a trainer card.
The only thing that I'm not seeing so far, Ethan, is going to be one of the Porygons coming down here too, because that's what this deck does really well. The 2 attackers, Honchkrow and Porygon, do synergize with each other. You use the Team Rocket's Honchkrow to stack up all of this damage with Rocket Feathers, discarding all of these supporters, and then the Porygon too that comes in the late game is able to utilize how many supporters you have in that discard to get and swing those high numbers. I mean, we look at the prize cards here, and I mean, taking a Pokepad for the trouble, but I mean, what is Jackson going to do now?
Does use Recon Directive to start the turn off, finding a Fire Energy, electing to take that or the Pokepad. It will be Phesandipity's Flip the Script used next, so building up a massive hand, still has not used the secret box. Looking at this list, there are 2 copies of Rare Candy. If Jackson can find a way to play something like Crispin plus Rare Candy, could we see an early Dragapult EX? Will Jackson take this time off to develop the board? It looks like it will be the latter, evolving into the second Dracloak.
It feels like the only option you're really able to do, especially when there are 2 Articuno really kind of preventing the bench. And the thing is, you would be able to take this Murkrow and take the energy at least out of play here, but then that's a Dragapult, or that's a Dragapult there, kind of ready to go at this point. So I think Jackson, like you said, really values consistency here. Here comes that secret box to really kind of get things going, especially because Jackson doesn't even have a Torchic right now. Definitely wants to see a little bit more.
Jackson can still take a KO on the Murkrow this turn with a Crispin and Dragon Headbutt, would actually deal enough damage to take a knockout. The question then just becomes, what does your response look like next turn when you're committing all the energy cards to the active, plus, you know, your Dracloak goes down, you need to then Rare Candy back up. Does have Rare Candy Blaziken online for next turn. So you have to wonder what Jackson's plan is to either disrupt this turn. You have the information that your opponent grabbed that Team Rocket's Ariana on the previous turn. When to use these hand disruption cards, can't stress it enough. So important in this matchup.
Well, it might just be about taking it easy. The only Budu in the deck is going down here. So it is just going to have to be the Torchic coming in to fruition. And the thing is, it may be just valuable for Jackson just attach, maybe even try to reestablish the Budu, retreat this Dracloak, and then taking it a little bit slower. But still, I like the line that you're thinking, Ethan. I mean, Judge here would be pretty good. It would take some of the consistency cards that Nathan has out of the hand, like the Ariana, but also would take the Honchkrow as well here.
Both recon directives being used. Thinking about committing the Dark Energy to Pheasantipity as a sniping option for later on. I really love this option from Jackson. Targeting the Team Rocket's Articuno down with gusting cards and then using Cruel Arrow. Is that his way to gain an edge in this matchup?
I mean, if there are Murkrows out, I mean, Cruel Arrow would do the 100 damage here. Back on over to Nathan's side. Has to anticipate, because Nathan did get to see, thanks to the knowledge of Secret Box, that Jackson did draw Judge here, so might want to play a little bit of defense at this point.
Really curious if Jackson didn't actually play a supporter card on the previous turn. Held that Crispin in hand to give himself a reactive approach based off what Nathan will do this turn. Can he get aggressive and take a KO on something like Pheasantipity? Is it possible for him to miss a knockout and leave that Dracloak in the active spot? Time will tell, as Nathan does play that Pokepad drawn off the prizes to find what is most likely another one of these Pokemon. Maybe now is time for that Porygon to come into play.
It would be very interesting to see Team Rocket's Giovanni being played here too, because that would be essentially telling Jackson, hey, you just need to hurry up at this point. Now that Honchkrow is evolved in the active, if that Honchkrow were to return to the bench, that repelling veil will not protect it anymore. So big key point here was the Porygon grabbed off of the Pokepad and the Petrol used for turn. So no aggressive plays, Ethan. It is just going to be more and more setup.
Really wanting to win the Stadium War. Jackson down that one copy of Team's Watchtower will be discarded and replaced with a Team Rocket's Factory. So whether we're at the hideout or in the factory, it seems that Team Rocket is truly running this battlefield.
This is a really great point here from Nathan as well, just getting all of the stadiums out. And this Team Rocket's Factory is actually pretty useful if you use a Team Rocket supporter, which hint, hint, everybody. All of the supporters in this deck are. You get to draw an extra 2 cards here. So for Nathan, still just going to be filling this bench, getting the Porygon ready to go, because once again, this Team Rocket's Articuno here is just going to veil everything from a Phantom Dive. 2
of those supporter cards discarded with Rocket Feathers. Nathan will jump to a 2 prize card advantage. As Jackson debates what to promote this turn, what to attack with. It will be the Torchic coming into the active spot. We know Jackson's already sitting on Rare Candy plus Blaziken. Start the turn by using Flip the Script. Does draw into a few more of those energy cards. But I'm not sure he's got a way to quite yet discard them. We do see Recon Directive draw into another Dracloak. Now just checking through the hand, seeing what's available. Recon Directive again does find Ultra Ball and immediately takes it. Getting those energy in the discard pile opens up a lot more options thanks to Blaziken's ability.
The thing is, though, Ethan, you got to look at the energy attachment onto the Pheasantipity. Unfortunately, Cruel Arrow's not really going to be doing much at this point here. So it is going to be just this dark energy. And we're seeing the air balloon as well onto this Blaziken. Blaziken does have a little bit of a heavy retreat cost here, so it doesn't want to waste the energy attachments for turn, and instead might just want to go into Dragapult. Like you had mentioned, Crispin already in hand here, but actually going to choose to throw it away because, I mean, Seething Spirit does at least cover some of those energy attachments.
Looks like the plan is to try and use this Blaziken as a supporting Pokemon rather than an attacker. With this Team Rocket's Articuno in play, Dragapult EX and Blaziken basically read the same. You do 200 damage to your opponent's active, and you can't place damage counters with Dragapult, so they're basically equal. Having that ability turn after turn really will come in clutch when you want to use multiple different attackers. Keep up with the aggression that this Honchkrow deck can apply to your board. That's why we're seeing Dragapult EX get grabbed to preserve this ability from Blaziken. There's the Seething Spirit, attaching that energy to the Dragapult. Evolution, attachment for turn. We'll see if now is the time for Jackson to use this Judge to disrupt Nathan's setup.
This is exactly what you want to see. If you are Jackson, you have your attacker, your primary attacker, I would say. Blaziken's a great secondary attacker, but you have your primary attacker ready to go. Is that a boss's orders onto the onto the Murkrow here?
Yeah.
And still stacking on that damage here. Team Rocket's Honchkrow, no more repelling Veil, so you know what? It's time to start spreading some damage counters, Ethan.
Does put it in range to be KO'd on the bench the following turn. Nathan will get to keep his pretty formidable sized hand, which always will matter for a knockout. And now the question becomes, can Nathan find a way to use Team Rocket's feathers to discard 6 Team Rocket supporter cards to KO Dragapult EX this turn? Every turn Jackson's able to announce Phantom Dive, he's going to get that much closer to getting himself back in this game.
This is pretty good here for Nathan, though, the more you think about it, especially because Nathan not going too crazy on the amount of Honchkrows that he's putting into play here, so really relying on double Articuno at this point. Do also want to bring up, Ethan, the fact that Jackson is not only just playing this one copy of Team Rocket's Watchtower that is now down, but is also playing a copy of Area Zero Underdepths as well. So if we're talking about that Stadium War like you were talking about a little bit earlier, it is going to be Nathan who's going to come out on top playing 3 Team Rocket's Factories. That's actually a lot of draw for a deck that loves to draw cards.
Speaking of which, big 4 cards from this Team Rocket's Ariana. How many supporter cards can Nathan find? Needs to get to that aforementioned 6 cards. May be reliant off this Robo Stick to find some supporters. We'll see 2 cards drawn. That's another supporter, essentially, thanks to that Transceiver. May need to find 1 or 2 supporters here. Do the math. It looks like 3 in the hand plus 2 Transceiver. Let's see how many cards from the top 4. There's the Team Rocket's Ariana.
Wow.
Finds 3 supporter cards, can place those all into the hand, and it looks like Nathan is lining up to take down this Dragapult EX on this turn.
This math is perfect, Ethan, and especially because that Porygon on the bench is ready to go. Now, granted, it did evolve this turn, so it will actually have to eat some damage counters here, but Jackson can have some great counterplay if he finds another boss's orders to be able to take out both attackers here. But for Nathan, a great Roto Stick, honestly, and this is one of the only decks that actually uses this card. Hasn't even used the Ace Spec yet because it is still in the prizes. It will be Nathan reaching all the way up.
Grabbing out these Team Rocket's Proton as great supporters now that you're past those early turns to discard, since it's much better to draw those cards with Ariana, use that gusting effect with Giovanni than it is to find basic Pokemon. Smart sequencing here for Nathan in this first game. We'll grab these primed to be put into the discard pile, and Rocket's Feathers in combination with potentially this Lucky Helmet attachment. We've seen that card find its way into a variety of different decks. Figuring out if now is the time to use it, and it will be. Knows Jackson is still holding on to that Judge supporter, counting out the 6 worst supporter cards, which seems counterintuitive, but when you're putting them to the discard pile, you got to keep what's valuable. And it looks like that Ariana, as well as a couple of those Team Rocket Giovanni considerations to be kept into the hand, will keep 1, get rid of some supporter cards, and that Rocket's Feather will deal 360 damage to KO Dragapult EX after we see potentially another Proton grab from the deck with this Transceiver.
The biggest thing here, too, is what I'm looking at in Nathan's hand, Ethan, is that Team Rocket's energy here, too. If Nathan were to get hit by a Judge next turn, would have to at least draw into the energy to make it so. And like we had talked about, this deck does rely on not using all of the energy because there's no easy way to get it back here. So there it goes, all of the supporters into the discard for a big knockout. Nathan's going to be on 2 prize cards left. Can Jackson find a way to stall, at least for the moment?
Flip the script for Jackson, still looking for something specific. Does find that that special red card. Is there a boss's orders to pair this together? That's the combination it feels like Jackson has just still been missing without Meowth just unable to search out boss's orders, with one being in the prize cards as well.
Might actually have to, at this point, Ethan, just kick with this Blaziken at this point and then hope that Nathan doesn't find a way through the judge to get things going.
We do see the Stadium card in hand. That could be impactful with a hand disruption on top. Taking a look at the discard pile, seeing how many supporter cards are down. Would love to see what Nathan has expelled at this point. Now, this deck is playing a total of 4 of each Team Rocket supporter cards. There's 6 of them in total, so that's 24 supporter cards, excuse me. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Yep.
Do
my math correct.
You got it. You got it.
Look,
I
sometimes math is hard here. I need to trust myself more, Emily. We've got 24 supporter cards. Love to see how many of those supporters Nathan is down so far in this matchup, as relying off of the Porygon later on in the game is great. But when you're in this sort of middle ground where you've got half the supporters in your discard pile and half of them still in your deck, you're kind of in this weird zone where one attack or the other is just not getting the job done.
The thing is, though, Ethan, I mean, this Team Rockets deck is known for drawing Ariana in a pinch, like you were mentioning, as Nathan was discarding it here. But still, I mean, is Jackson Ford going to use Judge here, or is he just going to use something like the Cruel Arrow from Crispin or something?
Just again, missing this boss's orders, coming back to bite Jackson on what would be an impactful turn. What will he do to adapt? Dragapult EX comes back into play, and there is the Judge. So can at least take a KO, but all of these damage counters that have been building up on this Honchkrow seem to have been going to waste.
Let's see the cards for Jackson here. Both players still, of course, having a good time. A lot of great camaraderie amongst all of our players here at NAIC. See the draw, though, for both players. I mean, 4 cards doesn't leave Team Rocket with much to really work with, but that Ariana and a combination of Team Rocket's Factory, because I still believe there is one for use, Ethan. This could be it.
Yeah, winning the Stadium War here, as this is the last Stadium card for Jackson, means every turn the game goes on where your opponent just gets to draw essentially 2 free cards just becomes such a big advantage. There's that boss's orders for potentially a following turn, as Blaziken EX will move out of the active spot. Dragapult EX will emerge. We'll see the Phantom Dive take a KO on the Honchkrow. 6 cards for Porygon, but this is where that lucky helmet is going to get its value, as Nathan will have essentially 7 cards to start this turn off, but there are just so many energy cards. I'm not sure this is the hand that Nathan was really looking to have after that disruptive.
Well, count how many supporters have hit the discard pile at this point. Ethan does have the ignition energy to use our command, and there's the Archer as well. So still, I mean, a lot of players have missed shuffling in and disrupting hands, but Team Rocket actually has the capability of playing this Team Rocket's Archer here, where both players would shuffle their hands in. But look at this. Here's the supporter count, Ethan.
So it looks like out of the supporters available, getting close to being down a decent amount. Got 4 copies of the Proton already gone. Petrol is almost all gone as well. We're going to see these evolutions, and this could definitely backfire for Nathan. He's going to commit to attacking with the Porygon 2 this turn. But it does mean that after the end of this turn, he'll be left with no energy cards in play, meaning Boss's Orders just continues to become a strong option for Jackson in the future.
And this was kind of the issue that we were having a little bit earlier, and what we were worried about with this Team Rockets deck is that a lot of these cards are tailored to its consistency, but the problem is once all of these energies go, it just doesn't feel like a way to get back here. Let's see what the 5 cards are for Nathan. Jackson's only going to be able to have 2, but it might just have to be an R command, and then hope later down the line the finisher can come through.
Did find the Team Rockets Factory importantly, so that will stay in play for the rest of the game, meaning Nathan will continue to draw extra cards, thinning the deck out beforehand with the Poképad. Will be another Murkrow put to the hand, maybe considering Porygon yet again to come down into play. It is that 2-1 line, so using Porygon 2 again would require the use of a Night Stretcher. really thinking about what is best, and it will be the Team Rocket's Porygon chosen from the Pokepad.
I mean, this is what this deck does best when it comes to the way that it flows together. You use the Honchkrow early, you get rid of all of your Team Rocket supporters into the discard, and then you let Porygon 2 clean up at the end, but it's only so unfortunate when you're unable to reliably find those knockouts. So instead, you just have to hope that your opponent isn't going to be able to use anything to take a multi-prize. Now, here's the big thing, Ethan. There are 2 Honchkrows now on the bench. That Veil is not going to be able to shield everything, so count it out. How much is our command doing at this point?
Looks like we've got a total of 13 supporter cards that would be 260 damage. It looks to be the case. Porygon 2 attacks with the R command. Damage dealt to Dragapult. So close, just 6 damage counters away from winning this first game, and we'll see if this Dragapult being able to hang on comes back to provide Jackson some value. And while it may on the surface seem counterintuitive, I would actually expect to see if Jackson can find boss's orders this turn to attack yet again with that Dragapult, since that Team Rocket's Giovanni is the only way to possibly switch out a Pokemon.
Well, 6 fresh cards here for Jackson, as you saw, thinning the deck as best as he can by putting a Lily's Pearl on a Monkey Dory. You definitely don't want to draw back into it at this point, so maybe banking on at least finding the Dark Energy to utilize Adrenabrain to move 30 damage counters over to the Team Rocket's Porygon 2. That would be 1 knockout there, but still, the Veil is doing its job, right? So it would have to be Nathan sacrificing one of these Team Rocket's Honchkrows there, but still, it's looking a little bit sticky for Jackson. Has to find this Dark Energy, and Ethan, you can only imagine how he feels seeing it still on Pheasantipity.
There's the attachment for turn. It is the Fire Energy retreating into the Dreepy. It seems that Jackson just doesn't have any other potential besides attacking with Dreepy's Bite Attack, taking the knockout on Porygon. Now, can Nathan find that Team Rocket's Giovanni plus enough supporter cards or a Night Stretcher to bring this back into the hand? I'm not sure it's quite yet. There's a lot of energy cards. Let's see the draw for turn. Lucky Helmet, that's not quite going to get the job done. The problem with this hand here, Emily, there's not a lot of ways to thin out. Can only draw what looks to be 2 cards potentially from this Team Rocket's Ariana. We're going to use the Roto Stick first, and no, does not find any supporter cards of the top 4.
And still, though, I mean, I believe there are 2 Team Rocket's Giovannis in the discard pile, which means that there are still 2 hiding in the deck somewhere. Is Nathan forced to just take a knockout onto this Dreepy? Does at least have some of the Rocket's energy in hand, and then just putting on the Lucky Helmet and hoping that the energy comes, or the attacker with Team Rocket's Giovanni comes from somewhere else? It could just be petrol for the Giovanni for next turn, Ethan.
Yeah, if that Roto Stick found that Team Rocket's Giovanni, that would have been curtains, bringing up that Dragapult, using the Rocket's Feathers and taking the KO. It looks to be enough supporter cards in the hand, just needs to have a single other one. So Nathan missing that now. Will still play this Petrol, can grab a supporter card. You always have to be wary, though, of that special red card. You put that supporter into your hand, and if your opponent can find that Disruption card, it will go to the bottom where you won't redraw into it unless you can shuffle your deck.
And part of the reason why Nathan at least this turn, or last turn, was so good is because he just stacked a bunch of energy, or damage, excuse me, onto this Dragapult. So Pheasantipity flipped the script, was not live. So because of that, Jackson was stuck to deal with a very small card hand. Now, granted, he did find Lily's Determination to get out of it here. But the question is, does Nathan want to give Jackson the opportunity to use flip the script? But instead, I think he's just going to protect this Porygon just in case things go awry with the boss's orders.
Looks like it will be that attachment of the tool card per turn. Drawing 2 cards thanks to the Team Rocket's Factory. And as things stand here, Nathan is sitting on a game-winning combination of cards for the following turn. Night Stretcher as well, considering just using that to put Porygon into play. That availability on the Articuno just not going to have enough impact compared to guaranteeing that evolution right now and trying to finish things out with a big Porygon 2 attack if it comes down to it.
It's so scary evolving into this Porygon 2, Ethan, just because when you really think about it, moving 3 damage counters over with Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain on that damage Dragapult could equal the knockout onto the Porygon 2 because it is now an evolution Pokemon, so Repelling Veil won't technically work here. Has Jackson found a way to wipe the biggest threat off the board?
We are going to see Lily's determination. Shuffling the hand, drawing 6 cards, and I have to imagine he is looking for that special red card. If he cannot find that on this turn, Nathan has essentially locked the game up to win with that Team Rocket's Giovanni in combination with either the Rocket's Porygon 2 or that benched Team Rocket's Honchkrow as well.
Big cards here for Jackson, and like you had said, Ethan, it feels like weird to say, but it is not exactly going to be the way it works, but look at this. Not going to be able to at least find the red card here, but it looks like Jackson's going to be pivoting using the Pheasantipity EX thanks to Blaziken to actually use Cruel Arrow to take out that Porygon. Does he see the line? And yes, he will.
You can take out the Porygon, but it seems that Nathan is still sitting on a combination of cards to win with an energy card in hand, plus the Team Rocket's Giovanni. He's going to be able to secure this game. There's the energy card. He's got just 1 supporter, but it is going to be enough. Was there damage healed? I don't think there was. 204. Oh, no, there's 240. It looks like this Dragapult is... No, it's in range. Does Nathan see the win condition?
It's really
60 damage for the Rocket's Feather. You can play the Team Rocket's Giovanni, switch into that benched Honchkrow. And as long as the math is correct, Rocket's Feathers would deal enough damage to take the KO. But no, we're going to see the Team Rocket's Ariana drawing cards instead, reaching to try and find a KO on the active, potentially.
I mean, Miracle Headset is still in the prizes, Ethan. Did Nathan just not see the line here?
May have tunneled on this idea of Honchkrow in the active, getting things done, ignoring this Dragapult EX may have costed Nathan this first game.
Rotostick for 3 supporters here.
Are there enough in the hand?
4, and that's going to be it. An alternate win condition. Sometimes we don't get to see it, but Nathan's still tunneling in, taking those extra steps. Nathan going to be able to get a win on the board for Team Rocket's Honchkrow.
Never punished, ladies and gentlemen. You can't emote after that. Come on. Just kidding, Nathan. Took the game down. Congratulations to him. Going up 1-0 in this set. Wow, what a game down to the wire. You have to imagine there, if Jackson had found a combination of hand disruption plus gusting, how things could have definitely gone array for Nathan in that first game.
Sometimes players like to take the scenic route, Ethan, and there's nothing we can do about it, right?
I feel like I'm stuck in the back seat with the seatbelt on and the car is just tumbling down.
The thing is as well, though, it was done with a lot of style, right? I mean, Nathan was able to go down to the last 4 cards in his deck to use the Rotostick to find the win. As we head into the replay here, and it was actually going to be Torment that did it, but I know somebody who can describe this a little bit better than I can. Pablo, what do you think about what's going on?
There's something in the water here in New Orleans this weekend because we are missing so many instances where game is on board or we have game or we have a route to secure and we're missing them. Works out in the end for most of these players, but wow, I was on the edge of my seat with that ending. Like, I didn't know if there were enough supporters or not just enough. The last 3 cards, 3 supporters. What a crazy ending to game 1.
We have been in for an absolute ride this weekend, and I don't mean a scenic one whatsoever. It has been an absolute roller coaster for the stream matches, from different decks to game-winning final turns, and that Rotostick finding the exact number of Team Rocket supporters. Pheasantipity went down, and what a game number 1 that was.
Listen, the scenic route works really well, but no A-spec, no problem, right, Ethan? Realistically, Nathan able to kind of maneuver around the cards, and now going into this next game, Jackson may have to be the one that strikes a little bit early, especially because of all of the ways that Nathan was not only able to use double Articuno to prevent the bench, but also using Murkrow to attack to get rid of those early prize cards with Badoo.
See the setups from both players. 30 minutes gone off the clock. A big deal for Jackson if he wants to get a win in this match. He's going to have to hope for a slower start on Nathan's end and a fast, aggressive approach in this second game.
Not exactly what this deck does well. Honestly, Jackson's just going to have to hope that Nathan doesn't start with the Team Rocket's Proton, realistically, right? Because that's all the setup there. But speaking of setup, back on over to Jackson's side here. He's going to be going first, and I think, Ethan, it's going to be in favor of going real fast, real quick. But look at that, 2 Murkrow down. I don't like that.
Not what you want to see. A couple supporter cards at the top as well. Jackson did prize one of those Torchic, which will make it a little bit more difficult to get into play. We saw how impactful Pheasantipity was early on and towards the mid-game for Jackson. That's at the top of the prize cards as well. And the Judge, a hand disruption card, also unavailable. A little bit of tools missing from the shed for Jackson in the second game.
You hate to see that too, especially because your only shuffle in for Nathan is now just going to be the red card here. But Nathan, was that a top deck, Ethan? Was that a top deck of Proton? Did have the Transceiver in hand, but just to be a little bit flashy, it is going to be Proton. And coming in and getting those 3 basic Team Rockets Pokemon, you can't feel better for Nathan here.
Exactly what you want to see in these early turns. Even has that Team Rockets factory in hand to back this up with some more card draw. Articuno does come down into play. The availability, Repelling Veil at that, online. See the deck get shuffled. Those 2 Murkrow really going to have to put in a lot of work quick. Or Nathan's going to have to rely off of these Night Stretcher to bring these Pokemon back.
And that's the thing, right? We'll be able to at least keep drawing, but still the setup isn't as comforting as having 2 Articuno there ready for you here. And so great hand here for Nathan. He's got the energy, got the Petrol for next turn as well as the Honchkrow. But the question is he going to be able to keep going here? That Porygon was so key. Might have to attach and retreat again and just choose to let this Murkrow go in the active.
Yeah, taking that same approach, burning that energy card early to ensure that Murkrow can deal with whatever is put into the active spot if it's a Badoo, or needing to evolve later on in the game. Immediately playing that Team Rocket's Watchtower to get rid of the factory, shut off those extra cards from being drawn as Jackson draws into Fire Energy, attaching that to the active and playing Lily's Determination. Emily, there's a combination where Jackson can fire off a Phantom Dive this turn, and if he can, will put on a lot of pressure very quickly in the second game.
Well, granted, Repelling Veil is going to be doing its job, but getting the 1 out of 2 Murkrow out of play, especially when 2 of them are prized, definitely feels a little bit better and will at least turn on the heat here for Nathan. 8 big cards and a Recon Directive as well. The Secret Box, Ethan, and the Rare Candy.
Already has it in hand, plus the Buddy Buddy Poffin. You see Jackson picking up his pace, understands he needs to move with prowess in this second game. Drippy number 2 comes down, and I would not be surprised to see if there's no Badoo action in this second game.
You don't technically have time for it.
Yeah, and why use Badoo? It's easily knocked out from Murkrow. If your opponent has something like Team Rocket's Ariana, they're going to just fill the hand up anyways, and we'll see the Recon Directive be used first. At Area 0 going to the bottom of the deck, finds Night Stretcher, now just has to decide which 3 cards to get rid of with this Secret Box. As long as Jackson has enough pieces pending this Ultra Ball can be found, and there's fodder for the discard, he'll be able to take a KO on turn number 2 with Dragapult EX, something that is really missing from how Dragapult is usually built now in the current standard format.
Here's what I'm worried about, Ethan. Now, granted, this is going to be a great turn from Jackson, but as you alluded to in game number 1, the Stadium War, and especially when we're talking about what we are going to be discarding here off of the Ultra Ball, it is going to be Jackson here just getting the Combuskin ready to go, but really does have to utilize and really consider what he wants to discard here. I really hope he keeps that Area 0 because still the Team Rocket's factory is going to be coming in. There's the Rare Candy Dragapult. I mean, damage counters aren't spreading, but you know Jackson's happy to be going first.
Even gets the Combuskin in play for the following turn. Threatening Seething Spirit, and there it is. KO Phantom Dive, 200 damage to the active spot as Nathan is on the back foot opposite to game number 1.
Doesn't exactly feel good either. There's not a lot of supporters in hand.
And a lot of energy cards, meaning this Ariana's not going to draw too many cards, just 4 it seems, with there being 2 supporters and 2 energy, and that Stadium removed as well means it's fairly unlikely that there will be a knockout from Honchkrow in this turn.
Fairly unlikely. We can probably guarantee it at this point. I'm wondering if Nathan wants to safeguard in any which way possible. Only 4 cards drawn here.
We need to draw into 4 Team Rocket supporters.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my, I thought at first the Team Rocket's energy threw me for a loop. Don't play with my heart like this, Nathan.
would love to see a reestablishment on the Porygon as well from Nathan, at least getting something going.
This is where having 2 of the Murkrow prized is so detrimental. You can't even bench it off Pokepad.
Considering what he wants to grab off Pokepad here. Evolving into the Porygon 2 would just be too dangerous, so it will be the pluck of the second Porygon here. I feel like, Ethan, Jackson has forced Nathan to really kind of skip those early game turns that we saw in game number 1 and saying, you know what, Dragapult's here. Here's the problem. You don't get to knock it out. So Jackson could also reestablish Monkey Dory and start taking multiple prize cards if it comes down to it.
You really don't love leaving damage on Dragapult's board in a matchup like this. And we see Nathan just pick his cards up. That turn 2 Rare Candy Dragapult, too powerful for Nathan to handle with the cards at his disposal.
Yeah, that was really quick if you are Jackson Ford, and for good reason. I mean, found the Proton, but the thing is, Ethan, not only do you need that Proton, you just need a little bit more of a heavier bench to get things flowing. And while it's great that you have the energy cards in hand, because there's no direct way to search it out realistically, you need to also find the Team Rocket's Ariana, the Team Rocket's Factories as well, to get this deck really, truly flowing. And the thing is with Dragapult Blaziken, a Dragapult variant that does at least play Rare Candy, these are the times when Dragapult can really just kind of puff its chest out and say, what are you going to do about it?
This is the struggle that this Team Rocket's Honchkrow deck has had since its introduction essentially into Standard, thanks to the Ascended Heroes format, now in the post-rotation format, the H regulation. Really can just struggle to find those knockouts late in the game when it's disrupted, when it has these clunky hands, when it's not drawing perfectly, it can truly falter. We'll see a mulligan from Nathan's, so that means more assistance for Jackson. However, he will be able to go first, pending he has a strong start, like in the first 2 games, put on some early aggression and try and change the tides of battle.
I am loving the inclusion of the Lucky Helmet inside of Nathan's list, at least. Want that card draw no matter what here, and I like the way that Nathan is at least utilizing it. Now granted, there was a basic Pokemon found here, so it's just a matter of if Jackson is going to be able to pull something like that off again here, and if Nathan's going to be able to get set up here with that Proton.
And it will be the case indeed. That Team Rocket's Transceiver played onto the battlefield. Grab out Team Rocket's Proton, find these basic Pokemon, and try and put some threats in. Wow!
Yikes.
Triple Team Rocket's energy. Are you kidding me?
Well, you had too many of them in your hand, so now you have them all in the prize card.
We can't have anything here in this Team Rocket's house.
Well, at least it's not a supporter, right? And I think it's also one thing to note as well. One of the Team Rocket's factories is going to be in the prize cards as well, Ethan, and there are only 3 in the deck here, so it might actually be more of a strategy game between both of these players to see when those stadium bumps are going out, because now it's 2 each.
See the Pokemon put into play on the bench. Both players understanding the gravity of the situation. Time running down on the clock, just under 12 minutes remaining. And immediately, no better feeling in the Pokemon TCG. Turn 1 Secret Box right from your hand to get going and get set up.
No better way to, like you said, get set up, Ethan, than being able to cherry pick what you want from the deck, and obviously that Buddy Poffin if Jackson's not starting it here. And as we look into the prize cards, 1 copy of Team Rocket's Watchtower at the top, but Jackson now going to be able to not only set up at least a couple of Dreepy here, and even potentially a Budu to get that Dreepy out of the active with Air Balloon, will also be able to refresh the hand, see another 8 fresh cards here. Let's see how he wants to do it, because honestly, Ethan, those prize cards for Jackson, not looking too bad.
May prioritize grabbing something like Torchic or Dreepy instead of Budu in this spot, just since it's not 100% a necessity, and even just an easy prize card for your opponent, pending you don't have a response. So Jackson still with plenty of options left. Air Balloon on the bench, so just trying to prioritize keeping this Blaziken EX later down the line as a pivoting option to go in and out of desired attackers.
I mean, you usually see Latias EX as the one that has free retreat and not Blaziken, but no Latias in this deck. And honestly, the way that Blaziken is working with this deck, it is really nice to be able to pivot to it whenever you feel like it, especially when you feel like it's too dangerous to put a Dragapult into play. Let's see what the hand is, and you can't ask for anything more than a Buddy Poffin. I would say, Ethan, the last thing that Jackson is missing is an energy to go with.
Does have one of those Blaziken in the prize cards. Will still grab another Torchic, putting it onto the bench. There is an energy card, can swing, actually no, needs a psychic energy for Petty Grudge, so will instead retreat into the Torchic just to promote a Pokemon. Jackson is okay with being knocked out, passing the turn back over to Nathan. We saw the Team Rocket's Ariana grab the previous turn, but there's no energy cards, and they will be far and few between with those being prized, and importantly, no way to search that energy, so to say, from out of the deck.
I would say part of the biggest advantage as well, Ethan, Blaziken is going to be able to use that dark energy in the discard pile as well once it gets back to Jackson's turn. But like you had mentioned, Ariana being played, and with most of your energy, or a good chunk of your energy at least, being in the prize cards at this point, might have to actually just bank on using this lucky helmet for some draw here. I do believe there is a rare candy in hand at the back of the hand for Jackson. Does he have at least the energy attachment to keep sifting through to be able to take that first prize card?
Just going to be Ultra Ball for Jercloak and the Lily's Determination. Bonus turn essentially for Jackson in this spot. Can use this to continue to develop the board, sift through his cards, sift through the deck, and put together a powerful turn. Every turn that Nathan misses energies are more opportunities for Jackson to try and make these cool plays where he can gust Pokemon up. Use things like the Dragapult to poke and then finish Pokemon off later. Try and hopefully build and accumulate damage on the board. With the Pheasantipity being in the deck of this game, that is a huge opportunity for a Pokemon to be used later on.
Jackson had a weird choice there on that last recon directive between the Combuskin and the Dracloak there, but thankfully, thanks to Pokepad, we'll at least be able to get a third Dracloak for the issues as well. I think it is really important for Jackson to start setting up this Combuskin into the Blaziken for next turn, because still, I mean, that's a lot of dark energy in the discard. Won't be able to actually attack there, but Blaziken at least will be able to Seething Spirit it back into play.
Torchic throwing in a little bit of support, using that Collect Attack to draw a card. Every card matters in the Pokemon TCG, as Nathan will have to settle for using this Team Rocket's Petrol. Grabbing this Team Rocket Stadium really is going to have to try and find energy cards, Honchkrow, some sort of assistance with this stadium.
The problem is, Ethan, right? If Nathan chooses to evolve this Honchkrow, there could be starting to see some lines of Boss's Orders and spreading some damage counters onto a Honchkrow here. Is it just another pass?
Oh, nothing in the hand for Nathan to work with. We'll see Jackson continue to move quickly, move with pace. Ultra Ball in the hand that can discard the fire energy, and Blaziken EX finally bursts onto the scene.
This is exactly what you want to see, as Jackson does have the fire energy in hand and actually also does get the Dragapult EX as well. So Jackson having a plethora of attackers and the beauty of choice here on how exactly he wants to go about it. Now granted, Ethan, I mean, it's still a lot of basic Pokemon there. Might just have to use this Blaziken EX to start kicking here with that Smolder Salt, but a fresh 8 cards still. Jackson going real fast here.
2 Recon Directive to use as well. Thinning the hand out, thinning the deck out before starting to filter through, choose some cards to put into the hand and choose some cards to put onto the bottom of the deck. Here's Recon Directive number 1, does find Rare Candy, does choose to keep that over the Pokepad. Now for that second Recon Directive, it will be another Dragapult EX, deciding to opt for Buddy Buddy Poffin instead. Now, there's no Psychic Energy yet that have been found, which does limit Jackson's options in terms of what attack to use. It feels as if you could take a prize swing with this Blaziken, but you're going to give your opponent another 2 cards with Lucky Helmet. They've already been sitting on a huge hand size, and it's very realistic for them 9 times out of 10 to have a KO.
I truly believe, Ethan, at this point, both of these players don't want to draw, but like you had mentioned, it's just not exactly what you want to see when you're just potentially taking prize. Is it just going to be a Jet Headbutt?
Feels like the only way to apply some pressure, that Lucky Helmet will activate, drawing 2 additional cards for Nathan. Does find that energy card, the Ignition Energy. So that does mean there's a potential for a KO. Given that there are 6 Team Rocket supporter cards, you see a little bit of overwhelmingness for Nathan with how many are available. Considering evolving this Pokemon, it would line up for that Phantom Dive to take a KO to it on the bench, and that's what Nathan is really thinking about and weighing the pros and cons of here, does decide to evolve that.
The thing is, with Ignition Energy, Ethan, after you use an attack with it, you have to discard it. And automatically, with 3 Team Rocket's energies already unavailable because they are in the prize cards, that Roto-Stick unfortunately will fail. He's going to be working with less and less energy as the game goes on, unless he finds a way to get him out of the prizes.
Are there 6 supporter cards in hand for Nathan? Can't quite tell. We saw a quick glimpse. By discarding all 6 supporters, it would leave yourself with just the mercy of the prize cards to help you out. But with time winding down, it feels like the only way you're going to really evolve in this game, find a win condition, is to get aggressive, start taking these prize cards. And Nathan does decide to do exactly that. Rocket's Feathers for 360 damage, KOing Dragapult EX, and importantly does draw into 2 amazing prize cards, that Team Rocket's Energy and the Rocket's Transceiver.
Well, the prize mapping for Nathan is certainly now on board, and I think Jackson can definitely see it. I mean, Nathan getting 2 prize cards here is going to allow for both of these Porygons to attempt to cinch the game for him here, too. And thanks to the Veil, they are going to be protected for now. It might be Boss's Orders time, Ethan, onto at least one of the Porygons here. Still stack that 6 damage onto the Team Rocket's Honchkrow and start taking these attackers out of play.
Can even target that Articuno down potentially to just try and apply pressure. Instead, going to go after both Lucky Helmet. Okay, allowing this Murkrow to draw cards for Nathan after discarding all of those cards if it means not having access to that later on. We're at just under 4 minutes left, and things are tied up at 4 prizes apiece.
And you know both players don't want to tie any more than they already have, and 1 is enough, technically, right?
Wow,
Still
look at that, 3 Night Stretcher in the hand. You can play some of those to thin the hand out, but it may be reliant on another big Ariana to fill the hand up to find more of these supporter cards. It seems that Nathan is all in on a big Rocket's Feathers this turn.
It makes me also question, Ethan, the amount of supporters there in the discard for our command when it does inevitably find its way up. But I think you're right. It is going to have to be Team Rocket's Transceiver to get Ariana going.
It's too early. That R command is not dealing enough damage to KO Dragapult EX. Just debating which Pokemon to grab out. Again, every time you evolve and prepare these Pokemon, you're guaranteeing that attacker for later on, but you're leaving yourself susceptible to bench damage from Phantom Dive. Just going to fail the Pokepad, it seems. Find this Team Rocket's Ariana, play maybe one more Night Stretcher, and hope that this can find a huge benefit of cards, Team Rocket supporters, and maybe even a stadium to draw some more cards as well.
It's not even safe for Nathan to evolve this Porygon as well due to the danger of Monkey Dory, just because of the damage counters. And like you had mentioned, the Repelling Veil does not protect evolution Pokemon here. So Nathan going all in, and like we had mentioned, Ethan, not a lot of energy cards left for Nathan to really utilize.
Needs to find 6 Team Rocket supporter cards. What do we see?
Whoa!
That's not enough, though. That's only 4 supporter cards, no stadium, and no way to draw any more cards this turn.
So close there. You could see all of them come up, but unfortunately for Nathan, just a pair of Pokepads. Unfortunately for him, denying the opportunity to take 2 prizes here.
And it doesn't even feel great to deal damage since Monkey Dory is now available and an option. And immediately you see checking the discard pile can bench Monkey Dory and take another 2 prize cards this turn. Jackson is playing with lightning pace in this 3rd game.
You know exactly what he is going for here. And while a Repelling Veil does protect those basic Pokemon, Ethan, it does not protect your evolution Pokemon. And this was the fear that we had, right? Evolving into Porygon, and now you're going to lose 2 attackers. Now, granted, still does have some here, but Jackson going to be in range of potentially even taking this game within the next minute and a half before time is called.
Needs to play with some pace. We are at 90 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. Dragapult EX gets grabbed. We can see a pivot into this fresh Dragapult EX with 2 Seething Spirit abilities to power up Dragapult again. As long as well, we can't attach that energy there. We already attached to Monkey Dory. Oh, that was from the discard pile with Seething Spirit. So many energy accelerations going on. Dragapult EX just powered and empowered by Blaziken. 2 prize cards taken. We are getting down to just 60 seconds left in this last round of phase number 1.
And this is why Dragapult Blaziken is such a great variant of this deck, because of the amount of times that you are able to just power something up from the discard, whether it be another attacker or that Monkey Dory. And like you had mentioned, Ethan, still 2 prize cards away from Jackson. And now, I mean, Nathan is forced in a weird spot where he has to question whether he wants to evolve again or not, because he sees the writing on the wall in terms of what could happen on this next turn. That Dragapult on the bench still does have 90 damage on it. Easily another way for Monkey Dory to move over those damage counters.
Boss's orders on the horizon for Jackson to close out this game, and with time most likely being called this turn, we'll still have 2 turns to close things out. It seems that Jackson has done everything perfect in this 3rd game to become a victor and advance to 7-0-1.
Ethan, the Porygon has evolved with the Ignition energy onto it. I'm wondering if Team Rocket's Giovanni is in the hand here to at least bring forward something to get a knockout.
Yeah, ideally that Dragapult EX, you take the damage counters off the board and 2 prize cards. We'll have to see how many supporters Nathan has in the discard pile. Again, 20 damage per supporter card. That Dragapult EX with 230 HP means there will need to be 12 supporter cards. There are the evolutions, and the Team Rocket's Giovanni, both active players, switching their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon at Nathan's choosing, of course. Does make the card a bit stronger than it normally would be. See that second Articuno be placed onto the bench, and there is that R command. 2 prize cards taken, and we are evened up now, just 2 prize cards away from seeing who will be our victor in round number 8.
Now into overtime we go, and these 3 turns will determine here. Both players don't want to eat a tie, Ethan, and those were 2 very valuable prize cards coming in for Nathan at this point. I think Jackson really kind of debating whether he's going to be able to at least take 2 this turn.
I don't think it's possible to take 2 prize cards. So now the question becomes, how do you set up winning in 2 turns? You have access to 2 turns. Your opponent only has options to play 1 more turn in this game. Is there some sort of strategy that relies around bringing up a undesirable Pokemon like Articuno, poking it for a little bit of damage, and then trying to finish it off later on? It's so difficult with that Veil being ability in place to block these bench Pokemon from taking damage counters.
Well, you saw the energy attachment onto the Monkey Dory, Ethan. We could be seeing a Mind Bend to try and at least give Jackson some time to get something started. It would at least move a single prize Pokemon into the active here. So it would force Nathan to use another Team Rocket's Giovanni here.
Special red card wouldn't do anything. And actually, Nathan's hand is not strong whatsoever. Drew his 2 prize cards, and they were both Team Rocket's energy. Just thinking and looking through, all 4 of those Team Rocket's Giovanni being gone means Nathan would have to find his 1 A-Spec, that miracle headset, to pivot out of the active spot, and that alone will not be enough to close the game out. So Jackson doing everything he can to just shut the options off as much as possible. Mind Bend for 60 damage, setting up for Boss's orders to close out the game. What is the top deck for turn? It is a Rocket's Transceiver. That does open options up for Nathan, but as we mentioned, Emily, no way to gust up a bench Pokemon means that in this last turn, Nathan will be unable to win the game. Now has to think about how he can make it as difficult as possible for Jackson to win on his final turn.
Well, it's hard to say, Ethan, just because all of those Team Rocket Pokemon are now evolution Pokemon. So this Porygon feels like it has to stay within the active here. And still, I mean, Monkey Dory is a threat. I can't imagine what he wants to find off of the Team Rocket's Transceiver at this point.
There's nothing Nathan can do to hand disrupt Jackson. No Pokemon was knocked out on the previous turn, meaning that Team Rocket's Archer cannot be played to disrupt Jackson's hand. And as long as he has access to a Meowth EX or a Boss's Orders in the hand, he'll be able to bring up one of these bench Pokemon and win the game with a final Phantom Dive.
And it's all thanks to, weirdly enough, Area 0 Underdepths as the stadium here, because Dragapult EX is technically a Terra Pokemon. Can extend this bench up to 8. Let's see what Nathan is going to decide to do here.
We're not going to see the energy attached. Playing this Team Rocket's Ariana first, filling the hand up to 8. Does find the Miracle headset, but this is going to be the final turn for Nathan, meaning that headset is not going to provide the value it needs to.
It's unfortunate too, as well, using the supporter for turn to find the ace spec that you needed for game at this point. Might just have to pass at this point.
Attacking does nothing. It risks your Porygon being KO'd, and it would also activate Fezendipity's Flip the Script ability.
Is he going to attempt it, Ethan?
Well, we're attempting this. Tails, and it just KOs his own Pokemon, meaning Nathan hands the game to Jackson, and he'll advance to 7-0-1.